some sort of weird studio recording area. I'm joined by Payton Major, our newest meteorologist. How are you, Payton?
I'm good. I am not hunting right now, even though it looks like it behind
I see
me.
mallards behind you.
Get those ducks.
Look at those green heads.
We're in the wilderness. No, I'm in the outdoor GPS studio.
What is outdoor GPS? Some cross promotion, please.
Oh, yes. Every Saturday and Sunday, you got to tune in, 9 a.m., Fox 12 Plus.
Dang, hire this woman. And Camila Ortiz, there we go. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. I'm in the studio, but I did put up a sign on the door this time in silver Sharpie, which was not the best color choice, that says weather podcast in process. So we'll see if we get any noise interruptions this time.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that. We don't like that if that happens. Okay, so this is episode 128. We're going to fly through this because we're recording this on Wednesday evening. It is 7:20 p.m. And Camila, what time are you on TV again?
I am on at 8.
We're on at 8.
Hopefully 8:10. That gives us a little more wiggle room.
8:10. We better check the rundown, folks. That's what we call it, the rundown, like the order. You know, like when you see a menu in a restaurant, the aperitif, and I don't know.
8:07:16, folks.
So we got piles of time. Wait, has your food arrived?
That will be arriving between 8:15 and 8:30, and you might have to grab my sandwich for me.
I can do that. You know, I'd be happy to grab that and bring it in.
Perfect.
Camila Ortiz having food delivered. You know, when you know you're a big star in this business when you have food delivered to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. So this is episode 128. We're recording this on Wednesday evening, the 26th of February. We are approaching the end of the month. And there's a good chance, most likely, you're listening to this or watching. We prefer that you watch it because we have lots of graphics to show you. You're probably going to be watching this on Thursday afternoon, Thursday midday. All right. So we're going to go through these different highlights here. We're going to recap the rain and wind we had this past weekend. Lots of rain. Yeah, some wind. The wind came maybe at a slightly different time than we expected, but it worked out in the end. We had some great storm photos. Tornado. No, we didn't have a tornado. But that's going to be our term of the week and warnings. We'll cover that. February rain update, how we're doing with the rainfall. Early March outlook, and that does include a bit of a cancellation of winter. So stick around. Now, I should point out, I got to give Payton credit because she put most of this together. So
nice.
Payton, I'm going to let you run on this one, but I have the control. I'm not really a control freak, but I do have controls here on the keyboard. So just say,
he is indeed, though.
Just say next slide, please. When it's time.
Okay, sounds good. Well, obviously we got a lot of rain, and if you're not watching, this is a summary of the 5-day rain totals we had from Friday through Tuesday. So yesterday, I know we had some showers in the morning. Portland picked up 2.7 inches. Salem was one of our higher spots, 3.74. Astoria is 4.18. Eugene, 2.3. Hillsborough around 2.3 as well, and McMinnville just over 3 inches. So that's a lot of rain.
2 to 4 inches.
Yeah,
2 to 4 inches.
Yeah.
I didn't see any reports of any sort of widespread flooding, right? I mean, I'm sure there was plenty of water on roadways at times. I think most of it was late Saturday into Sunday morning, midday, something like that. I was outside at one point Sunday and it was dry, but the showers kind of came in wet.
Yeah, that was the afternoon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just for comparison, I came up with this graphic yesterday, but just the wettest 4-day periods on record in Portland. And this would be by calendar day. And during the big February 1996 flood, we had 7 inches of rain in 4 days. And this kind of threw me off. And Payton and I were discussing this. You were off yesterday, Camila. So that's okay. You can have days off. That's fine. But I'm just letting you know what you missed.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
We had a big discussion about the wettest day. Well, a short discussion about the wettest day because I made a graphic and I mentioned that the wettest day on record here is 2.69 inches. And I said that and I'm like, I swear it was 4 inches. So here's the deal. These are by calendar day, midnight to midnight, right?
Yeah.
But if you go look at any 24-hour period, the record at the airport is easy number to remember, 4.44 inches. Got it? 444. Okay.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't actually have any sort of significant flooding with that because once again, because I'm getting older, I remember the day it happened. And it was in late, they're laughing. It was in late October of 1994. Yeah, it was 94. And it was at the end of the dry season. So like the first 2 inches or more were absorbed by the ground, right? Rivers were low, reservoirs were empty. So we got lucky with that one. But I did look back in Portland downtown records, which go back all the way into the 1800s. I think there were 2 in 1882 and 1884, somewhere in there where there was 7 or 6 inches of rain in one calendar day. So I'm sure that did cause flooding.
Yes.
Of course, there wasn't that much urban infrastructure at the time. So there you go.
So.
Okay, Peyton, you're on wind.
Yeah,
I
let's
guess we
talk
did
about
this
the wind
together,
gusts.
didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably around 4:30, maybe closer to
Right.
5 o'clock. On Monday, started seeing the winds pick up, especially in the metro. The airport observed a gust of 52 miles per hour. We even had one near that point in Troutdale. Scappoose was 52 as well. Hillsborough, 54 miles per hour. And Salem was around 45. So, yeah, stronger winds, but let's pull up the coast because this is where the real action happened. Yeah.
Dang.
You're seeing some 88 mile per hour gusts that were observed at the Cape Disappointment area and Clatsop Spit, which is, they're pretty close together. But yes.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist generally, but don't you think it's kind of odd that the speeds were that high and that two locations, both on the south of the mouth of the Columbia River, the Clatsop Spit is right there basically on the jetty, and then on the north side of the river, basically above the jetty, same speed. Why wasn't it 87? Why wasn't it 89?
Why would that be a conspiracy?
Why wasn't it 86?
Wait, Peyton just said they're close to each other. Why would that be so weird?
Well, they're like 5 miles apart. It's just weird that they were the same speed. I said I'm not typically a conspiracy theorist, but it just seems odd.
Isn't that kind of like saying, isn't it weird that these two locations 5 miles apart have the same temperature for a high?
Well, no, but wind speeds are much more, they
Variable?
jump up and down, variable.
Okay, fair enough.
I just thought it was strange.
Playing devil's advocate.
Maybe it's just an odd coincidence, and I'm too, I should lay off the different conspiracy theory channels I've been watching. I'm sorry, Peyton, I digress a little bit.
That's okay. Okay, wait, hold on. There's a couple other stronger ones too. Newport Bridge, 74 miles per hour too. So, yeah, it's okay. Mark's really wants to move on.
And
He's
these
cutting me off a lot.
it was strongest, was it strongest like early Monday evening or like
discuss
overnight
that.
hours?
Let's get into that.
Please.
These two were overnight.
Okay.
But here's the deal. So these peak gusts, I believe, yes, every single one of these was as thunderstorms moved through between 3:30 and about 5 to 5:30. That cluster of thunderstorms that kind of moved across all the western valleys.
So early in the evening.
Yeah, we had expected a gradual, I know we had a chance for thunderstorms in the forecast, thought it was possible. That wasn't a surprise, but we had strong wind overhead. And so then suddenly within these thunderstorms, the wind surfaced. I mean, most places it went from calm to like bang, gust to 50 very quickly. And we actually figured these gusts, models were showing the peak gusts probably, 9 p.m. to midnight. And after midnight, after, 10 p.m., let me back up. After 5 or 6 p.m., those gusts were never exceeded. So I would posit that if we wouldn't have had those thunderstorms, our peak gusts would have been 35 to 40 or so in most of the metro. So the thunderstorms kind of saved our bacon, let's say.
Nice.
But then the coast was more of a late night thing.
Yeah, coast was, not related to thunderstorms. That worked out really well, I think. So, yeah, good stuff. That was quite a little storm. And, by the way, so that 52 would also be, it is, or did it tie? It either tied or was 1 mile per hour higher than the highest gust of winter. So I think that goes down at the highest of winter.
Yeah, believe it.
There you go.
For sure.
Which
Okay, well,
we'll
zoom through these. These are always cool, but I think there's juicier stuff later. So, okay, we have down tree in Hillsborough, lots of these. I know there's a lot of chainsaws yesterday, too, going around.
I bet it smelled good.
Yeah, probably.
When people chainsawed, in your neighborhood, it smells like Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
That's the best. Oh, wait, I do want to mention really quick, Mark, on that one. That one is uprooted, which means, yes, we got a lot of rain. The soil was a little soggy. And so, yeah, that's exactly what happened. The gusty wind just toppled that thing over.
Took the whole system with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed there was that one. Peyton, you weren't here, but Camila, you may remember it was a year ago. Christmas weekend, we had a ton of rain on Monday. And then that windstorm came in Monday night and Tuesday right after a weekend Christmas, I think. And there were a lot of outages because soaked ground always does the trick.
Yeah.
It's weak.
Yeah. And then, nice.
Mattis clouds.
Yeah. Does anyone want to comment on these? I don't know. I saw a couple.
I thought I saw some. Was it the same day? Oh, no, this was yesterday. I saw maybe a few on the backside of a heavy shower. Or was it yesterday? It was the day before. I guess it would have been.
Monday. I don't know. The days mixed together.
It's a blur. I don't remember which day.
Yeah. I don't
This was in
Canby.
You often see these on the undersides of anvils around thunderstorms.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of sinking air. Thank you, Rose. Good stuff there. And Silverton hail.
Nice.
I love the perspective with the hand.
That's always really good.
Those are the most perfect little spherical hail pieces I've ever seen. Maybe.
Yes.
Those look like marbles. Yeah.
They had a really good supercell go through there. So.
Wow.
when you look at that photo of the ground, it's like, pea-sized hail or small stuff. But then when you look at the hand, it's a little more obvious. It
Yeah.
was pretty large stuff.
That's for like a
Okay.
dime.
Yeah, I think so. There was one report of just under 1-inch size. It was southwest of Malala, which was, northeast of Silverton. That Highway 213 that goes from Oregon City, Malala down to Silverton, that's where that Weather Service thinks it was a low top supercell thunderstorm.
Yeah,
And-
Sarah.
And then behind it,
Ooh.
Yes, and we got a lot of rainbow photos. I love this one because it's a double rainbow. Cool thing about
Yeah.
double rainbows is the second rainbow is always opposite in the colorway. So it actually goes from purple to red instead. It's a kind of a double reflection within the raindrop. And
Okay,
so
let's
Captain
check.
Spence took this.
I know we're going to get into old people and their old sayings in a few minutes related to something else, but have you ever heard the term Roy G. Biv? Peyton?
Yes, that's how I would remember the colors in the
Roy G.
rainbow. Yeah.
Biv.
Oh, wait, there's a song?
There's a song?
No,
Or did
I
you just make
made
that
it
up?
Oh,
Okay.
we
God
both got
bless
so
you.
I
excited.
sing everything. You got,
Wait.
yeah, you'll see. I sing everything.
Wait, so my wife isn't crazy when she's always singing. Okay.
yeah,
I have another storm related question because my friend who's up in the Seattle area, she was watching, the storm roll through and she said, "Can you explain why it looked like the sky was pink and turquoise?" And I was like, "Was this around like sunset?" She was like, "No, the sun had already gone down." And I told her maybe it's because there was so much moisture in the air that maybe it was just like the refraction of the light through all these different particles that was scattering the light weird. Would you guys have any idea why? She's like, it looked like the sky was lighting up in green and almost like northern lights kind of colors.
I have two
Yes.
thoughts. One
Okay.
is the pink. If it was a pinkish colors, that would just be sunset colors.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. But she was like,
But the
no,
green,
this-
the only time I've ever heard of green is related to large hail in the Midwest.
Yeah, I don't know.
have any thoughts.
I couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to hear your thoughts. All right.
What was she doing at the time? Was she at a bar or what? No, I'm just asking.
She
I'm
was
not.
at home, probably
I'm just
completely
asking.
sober, looking out the window.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh gosh, shit, that woman's gonna beat me up next time she sees me. Okay, so so we had Peyton and I were working during this. It was on Camilla's day off, and no, I'm not saying just because it's your day off, but it just happened to be. And we were on the air at 5, or I was on the air, and all of a sudden we were getting severe thunderstorm warnings because, and you see that up kind of the top there under the word lightning strikes. There was one farther northeast towards Sandy, but then all of a sudden a tornado warning pops up. Wow, I had to move quickly on that one. So we were on the air. It was right during our 5 o'clock show, I believe, and
Yeah.
there was there was very clear rotation on this through the cell, and that thing tracked from northeast of Salem, like around Prattam, very small little town, to just south of Silverton, and then it came and went. Peyton and I were watching, like it would kind of pulse, get a little stronger, a little weaker, like, oh, it's weakening, oh no, it's a little stronger, and then it finally fell apart right around Malala, just east of Malala, maybe. But that was
Yeah.
exciting. We don't get many tornado warnings that go on for a while. Most of the tornado warnings we have here, it's like, hey, we just heard of a tornado, a real, like a weak tornado, but a tornado just touched down in Silverton, so they put up a warning. That's usually how it works here. So, yeah. Peyton, you told me when you were on the air back east, you actually were on the air like by yourself for an hour, right?
Wall to
something like-
wall, baby. Yeah.
Wall
no,
to wall.
It's pretty crazy. No commercial breaks. We just talk through the entire warning, the entire issuance. So if it, ends at 5:40, we'd be on from 5 to 5:40. But
Wow.
Were you tracking one that was on the ground?
yes,
Wow.
many times.
Oh.
Yeah, one time because
Now that's serious. When you actually, just so everybody knows, one was never seen. In this case, there were hints of maybe a funnel cloud, but no tornado touchdown. So we didn't have any data coming in that said there was one. But go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, obviously Helene was my big weather event in September.
Oh, right.
Not only we get flooding and wind, but we had 53 tornado warnings in a week.
Whoa.
And in our region, I mean, I wouldn't say it's Tornado Alley or anything, but we'd get maybe 5 to 10, maybe 15 warnings a year. So to have 53 in a week,
That's wild.
and
That is
there was many
crazy.
times I'd be home eating dinner, and then all of a sudden, warning! Oh my gosh! You didn't run to work, have the dress
Wow.
on standby.
Yeah, that doesn't happen here very often.
No.
I would say I think this is only the second time in the last 20 years where that's happened, where we had a warning go on while we were on the air. In fact, I think the last one was just before we were going to go on the air. But where, when we're in here and a warning comes up and it stays up for more than 10 minutes. So that's a pretty rare event for us. But again, no warning was seen.
Yes.
There we go. This is a good graphic. Peyton, you threw this one in here.
Yeah, I did.
Let me point out real
some
quick.
Perspective. Yeah, go ahead.
Credit. Peyton put together much of this podcast. It was the first time, so I'm running it, but do credit right here.
Nailing it.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That means you have to talk about the graphic too. You're on.
Oh, okay. Are you sure? Okay. No, Pacific Northwest tornadoes. So basically what we're looking at is that these things don't often happen here. We know that. I think I actually had a lot of family members in Salem go, what do I do in a tornado warning? Because we don't have those drills here. We just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go outside, please. So there have been 97 tornadoes in Northwest Oregon and Southwest Washington since 1950. Mark, you can speak on that one in November, but a lot of them are, EF0, EF1.
Mark, you can speak on that one from 1950.
Yeah, Mark.
No, Peyton, I wasn't here in 1950.
Sorry.
In fact, that EF3, the only one, that was that one that did actually kill people. In fact, that's the only incident of a tornado killing people. I was 3 years old then in 1972.
Oh, so tell us about it.
Well,
that was the Vancouver
I was in
one,
Hood
right?
River, I think, at the time. Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
Some people, it was in a bowling alley and a Wear-Mart store, which is like a Buy Mart, I think.
Wow.
So anyway, the point is, look at the vast majority are the 91 of those out of the 97 were EF0s or 1s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other tornado thoughts?
Well, what was the one in November? Anything special? Probably just a little spin up.
That was, oh gosh, where was it?
I don't remember that one.
I mean, if I said Clark County, that'd be like 70% right at any time. Where was the November one? Was it Clark County?
See if I can do a quick Google search.
Okay, Camila, you're going to look up that one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that was the Rockaway tornado. Right.
Yep, Rockaway Beach. That was it.
Nobody saw it. I mean,
one
except we
person
could see
suffered minor injuries.
Well, remember what that injury was?
I don't remember.
They went out to look to see what was happening, ran back in the house and hit their head on the. I'm sorry if you're listening.
Wait,
or
that's
your friend,
right, because I remember
on the door
texting
frame.
you. Was this the one where I saw? I don't remember which news outlet it was, and it was just a porta potty on its side, and it was like tornado damage or something. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, tornadoes in the Pacific Northwest are so cute.
Yeah, they are cute.
So that was our chance to have a tornado in 2025, but we got 10 more months to go.
Yeah.
We can still have one. We average maybe 2 per year in Oregon. Ooh, rain. Let's talk rain. Let's move on.
Nice.
Wet. We know it was wet. You had all those graphics before.
Yeah.
Peyton, but the weekend was a soaker. I think that in a way that's a little deceiving. Like I mentioned earlier, the rainfall is by calendar day. As I recall, from midday on the 22nd, Saturday, to midday on the 23rd, I think it was like 1.3 inches or something like that, 1.4. So a 24-hour period was significantly higher during that time.
That's decent. It looks like Sunday was the big winner.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as calendar day goes.
First half of Sunday, at least.
Yeah. Just
that
shy
was
of
a
an
soaker.
inch. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
Imagine if it rained the whole day.
A big thing that I look for, like when we call first alert weather days, when we say, hey, it's going to rain so much, we're going to call it a first alert weather day. We don't just hand out those first alert days like some dude in a scary van down on some corner with a free candy sign. We don't do that, folks. What we do...
I did not know where he was going with that analogy.
Me neither.
So what we do when we actually see something like, okay, this could cause flooding, I'm looking for like 0.2 of an inch or 0.3 of an inch per hour for several hours in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do that for 4, 5, 6 hours, that's when we start getting the urban flooding.
Yeah.
Or for river flooding, we're going to need significant rain over several days.
Oh yeah, what's that line? Is it 0.3 of an inch between what we consider light and moderate rainfall for those 3 hour totals?
Graphic? I think that's fair for our region. 0.3 of an inch. If we had 2 or 3, if we have 3 hours of 0.3 of an inch of rain here, that's when we start seeing water coming up out of the drains and flooding on some of the highways.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I remember that the time Max was flooded. Peyton, you might remember this because I think you were back in Portland then in 2015, or in the Portland area. There was, you remember that Max going through the water and people were putting their feet up because there was like a foot of water inside the train.
Whoa.
I don't remember, but man.
It was 2015, I think it was October. And what I clearly remember was like 0.2. We had like an inch or so of rain in the previous day. Then it was like 0.2, 0.3, and then a half inch in 1 hour.
Oh.
So it was like 1.2 inches within like 3 hours. So that when we see, always when we're talking about these first alert weather days, look for like something pretty intense like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, you made this graphic too, Peyton. You made everything. You were in a graphic spree this week.
You're really talking me up today, Mark. Okay.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
So what, guys, I'm really not that great. Okay, what is your days this season? So we went back to November. So since November, our wettest day, still Christmas Day.
Merry
takes
Christmas.
the cake. Yep, Merry Christmas. 1.11 inches. And then December 17th, so the week before, was just over an inch. But now we get the 3rd and 5th spot with the last few days that we've kind of had, the 23rd, the 24th, because we had just under an inch and then just about, 8/10, 9/10 of an inch.
Yeah, nothing extreme this winter, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But a wet
really.
February. Look at the February number.
Above
This
average.
is exciting because over the weekend, Camila and I working, and we're thinking, okay, well, it's going to rain. We're going to boost our rain totals, but we were around 1.5 inches for the whole month. So to have over where we should be is great.
Yeah.
Wettest February since 2017.
Impressive.
Okay, so what's ahead? Oh. Winter
I
is
faded
over.
it.
What a reveal.
Yeah, that was good.
I didn't know it was coming. That
It was
magical.
drama.
That was
That's why
pretty
you have to
exciting.
watch the video version, folks. You
That's
get
right.
all
Or
the
else you're
magic.
like, what are they talking about?
The
I do listen to this
drama.
on the way home. I've mentioned that just to hear what we sounded like, and if like last week when I had some sound issue at home. But yeah,
Sounds
it's
like
always
we're
weird when we do
gasping
something
at
like that.
random
Like, what did they
times.
see?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So this is water vapor imagery, and you're like, what is going on out here? Let me just draw a pretty little line. The flow is going about like this. We have a system offshore. It's kind of splitting. Some is going up to the north, some to our south. We're under an area of high pressure, and so that's blocking storm systems. Beautiful weather today. We hit 61 or 62 degrees here in Portland. So let's go to the upper level maps, 500 millibar. This is a Thursday morning, so this is actually tomorrow morning since most of you will be listening to this. And that's what we call split flow. The main flow is up here, but there's a little bit going around this upper level low that's moving towards California. We're, in between, which is great weather. This is often very good weather for us, especially in the springtime. I've noticed nice split flow. Nothing extreme, too warm, but we generally are dry. So there's this. So this is Thursday morning. If we go to Saturday morning, 2 days later, then that low is cut off over Southern California. They like the showers. Good news. The main flow is up here. Looks like another system about to come across. But look how weak it is. This is Saturday morning. Look at Monday morning. It just kind of gets absorbed and moves off to the east. We just don't get a deep low that passes over us over the weekend. But I think it's enough to give us showers Sunday and Monday. Then look behind. You see some ridging. And by next Thursday, actually what you don't see here, you can see my cursor right here, right? Way out in the Pacific. There is actually one more trough. So I'm making a jump 3 days here from Monday to Thursday. That trough here kind of punches through the ridge, and it's down here in California by Thursday. So in general, we have upper level ridging more often than not over the next week, next 8 days, let's say.
Yeah.
Which is pretty pleasant. Once we head into spring, which I would consider early March is meteorologically spring, once we get into that time of the year, it's like, if we can just keep weather systems away, we get pretty decent weather.
Yeah.
Great tool. Euro Ensemble Maps, 6 hourly max temperature the next 2 weeks, 51 Ensemble members, along with the control run, which is basically one of the Ensemble members. But you can clearly see, I love these colors this time of the year. The 3 warmest days most likely are these next 3 days. Dash line, I put the dash line in because it's pretty obvious that Friday, at least Ensemble averages are highest here. Okay. There's still some hints of warmish stuff on Saturday. Pretty cool. Sunday, Monday. And then you see there are hints that maybe could we have some low 60s again, maybe next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, possibly. All right. Excuse me. Sorry. 500 millibar anomaly the first week, higher than average heights. We've got ridging. The second week, this is the GFS. Looks like we might go back to troughing. So that would be the days 9 through 16. So the 7th of March through the 14th. So as we head towards mid-March, we may go into a cooler pattern again. This is when we get the lower snow levels again. And then there's the, I'm going to have to go around and get water. Let's see how this goes. If I do, you guys keep going, okay? I'm going to run out of the room and come back because there's water just in the kitchen right there. Excuse me. Euro anomaly, pretty similar, although see how there's a pretty good cool anomaly over us, lower than normal heights over the west. This is that second week. Euro isn't quite as strong, closer to average heights. There you go. I'm going to have you take over. I'm going to go grab water.
Yeah,
okay?
stop torturing yourself. Go get some water.
Nobody can run it from here. I'll be fast.
We can just talk about this Euro ensemble for
we got
15 minutes if necessary.
There you go. Talk about that. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Goodness.
So this is all a surprise to me because I don't know a mark through in here, but okay, 850 millibar temperatures. So he's got snow levels highlighted. pass elevation snow with the dashed black line there. So basically showing that snow level is going to be dropping, or at least ensemble members models thinking it's going to be dropping by the end of, it looks like, next weekend, which lines up with what he was saying about, looks like we're going to be entering back into a maybe cooler pattern.
Right. And when in the next few days when it is so warm, obviously that snow level is very high
snow level.
It has been for a little bit.
Yeah, back. We'll see how long it lasts. But notice, sea level snow. Did you cover that?
Yeah.
No,
about -8
we were mostly
850.
just talking about pass elevation snow.
Passes. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, it's okay. Notice even none of the ensemble members get snow to sea level through the 12th of March. But it could happen after that. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's our forecast. What do you think?
Looks pretty nice.
Sorry, I'm breathing so heavy. I ran as fast as I could to the kitchen and back. I shouldn't have done
I
that.
think I heard you down the hallway.
That's a pretty big swing, though, going from, mid to upper 60s to low 50s in a few days. Yeah.
So when we look at this, is that my last? Yeah. So when we look at this and this, that tells me there's no sign of a cold Arctic cold blast. We've never had an Arctic blast after the first week of March. Okay. So.
Which is different than. Sorry, I just took all your thunder. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Winter is over. Okay, I did the fork. I just did the fork thing during the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock newscast. I think winter is over west of the Cascades and the lowlands. So what does that mean? Yeah, but did you say boo?
No, I said woo. Sorry,
good,
woo,
okay.
W. I'm excited for that.
Woo.
Some people love winter. I mean, I like the snow too.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? I think we're done with these. Pretty confident. Snowstorm. Shut down the city snowstorm. Or shut down the city ice storm. I know of no instances in Portland's past where there was an ice storm that shut down the city in March. The sun angle gets too high, so the pavement can warm up. Even on a cloudy 32-degree day, it's possible. Arctic blast, nope. We're not going to get that from this point forward. We know it's not going to happen through the 10th of March. We don't get them beyond that. You just can't keep cold air masses down into eastern Washington to come through the gorge that late in the season. Widespread flooding. Now, we did have flooding in April around 2016. That one did surprise me. We had some dams that got pretty full. But that's pretty unusual. Or endless days of cold east wind. When we talk about that cold east wind constantly, that's not going to happen.
Nice.
Once we get to mid-March, it's pretty much over. But I know people are saying, oh, yeah, Mark is canceling winter. I remember it just snowed in April, so he doesn't know what he's talking about. Camilla knows I'm very sensitive about this, Payton.
Very sensitive.
In fact, I didn't cancel winter. I didn't pull the fork out. I didn't cancel winter back in 2023, I believe, because I was mad about it.
Oh, it's okay.
But stop being mean to Mark. He can only take so much.
Well, is snowflake appropriate for this for the weather people talking? Yeah. So here we could easily get a wet morning snowfall. I live at 1,000 feet. I assume at some point, since we're in a La Nina late winter, early spring, we tend to get these late snowfalls in the hills for sure. We'll see if that happens this year. But I assume at my house at 1,000 feet, at some point between now and early April, I'll have like 3 or 4 inches on the ground one morning. It'll just be wet. And, 46 degrees in Portland in the afternoon. That happened in April 2022 in the metro. That was our latest instance of measurable snow. And in April 2023, the next year, just a couple days later, there was 1 or 2 inches up around, was it Salmon Creek up towards Ridgefield and over to Battleground. But Portland that morning was 37 at the airport and the high was 53. So that's not really winter.
Yeah.
And in March 2012, it happened. So we can get some of these wet morning snowfalls. The pattern has to be just right? Got to have minus 850 millibar temp, minus 8 or colder, 850 millibar temps. And we can also have a windstorm. I remember an April windstorm. They're unusual, but I remember a significant early April windstorm a few years ago. And of course, frosty mornings, we can get frost all the way into early May. So the biggie, when I use this graphic, and I talk about this on TV, when I say winter is over, there's 4 big things here. One is it's okay to take off your snow tires. Even I just took mine off last weekend because, I might go skiing, but it'll probably be decent weather. I won't need to worry about the snow tires. My wife's, I left hers on because she has a little lower tolerance. If we had 3 inches of snow at 5 a.m. some morning, she goes to work early too. Better chance when I go. Yeah, and I go to work at noon or 1 p.m. Good chance the road would just be wet anyway. You can uncover your faucets, turn on the water. I have some water going out to my greenhouse, turned that on today. It felt very good.
Nice.
Foundation vents, we always have reporters in November, December, the first cold snap, like, hey, make sure you close up your foundation vents to keep the cold air out, right?
I don't know what this is. So you're going to have to educate me because as a new homeowner, I feel like maybe I should know what this is. Help me.
It depends. If your house is on a slab, which mine is, there are no foundation vents. Do you know? Is
I
there
know we have
air
a crawl.
underneath
We
your
have
house?
a crawl space.
Yep. There should
Okay.
be, walk around the outside of the house. There should be little, like, about the size of my keyboard here.
Okay. Thank you for the visual.
Maybe double the size of this, and they're little. You can buy these little white plugs that go in little styrofoam plugs, and that keeps the cold air from moving around underneath the house during the winter. But you want the air down there normally.
Yeah.
Also, this is a little bit out of my area, but radon, it always helps to have more air moving down there. So go check it out. You know, I'd like you to report back next week's podcast.
So would that
foundation
help?
vents?
Because our lowest level, our main level, is always so cold. Would that help if I plugged
It
those?
might. A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Couldn't hurt.
All right.
And
more you know.
Camila, someday when you know you've made it big and you have the $350,000 big massive RV that the big stars have.
No, not my style.
Yeah. Same with me. De-winterize the RV. Like, I mean, we do have a small RV. It's not a huge one. And I did have to pour the stuff in and drain the water out. It took forever in November. But now it's probably okay to put water back in because a little overnight frost will not cause any issues.
Nice.
So do not forget to de-winterize your RV, ladies.
Can we talk about the lamb thing?
Yes,
The
the
lamb.
saying for March.
Oh my gosh, it is. March is coming up. March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb.
There it is.
There it is.
So tell me, okay, so these ladies, they said they'd never heard of this, right?
Yeah, no. Mark was just throwing it around.
Everybody knows it.
Like it was just this is a common phrase. And both me and Peyton were like, what, come again?
Lion, lamb, huh?
And then that's just something I always heard growing up. But, and Camilla, I think we were talking a few weeks ago about, like, you know, language changes, things change over time.
Yeah.
Things I remember my grandparents saying, I don't say, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody says. I remember my grandpa used to say, what did he say? Oh, that'll cost you 2 bits. Do you guys know what 2 bits is? I had to ask my parents. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm one generation, you know, half a generation ahead of you guys. Okay, one ahead of Peyton, but half a generation ahead of you. And so the point is, I had to ask my parents, what is 2 bits? 2 bits is the old saying for 25 cents.
Oh.
But nobody uses that anymore, right?
No.
But 40 years ago, older people were still saying that, but now they're, you know, they're not around. So
yeah,
sayings die. And I wonder if March coming in like a lion and going out like a lamb, when I reach my final hours, that'll be the end of that saying. Do you think that'll be the case?
Maybe. Okay, but explain what it means.
You're bringing it back.
Yeah, I think the story's always been March 1st is late winter. You know, it's still pretty stormy. Even in our climate, it's much stormier in early March. When you think about the end of March and early April around here, it's like, you might get a wet system, but things are really calming down. Maybe it's 65 degrees. So March comes in like a lion, comes in all stormy like winter. A month later, things are really calming down and it goes out like a nice calm lamb.
Okay.
There you have it.
Maybe we should, on a bi-weekly basis, teach Mark some new hip sayings, which I will lean heavily on Peyton for.
I will tell you, when I skied last weekend, I was sending it big time.
I'm not impressed with that.
I was sending it down some of those slopes.
I'm not your gal either. And secretly, inside, I am 80. Like, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
we gotta start incorporating things like, oh, this system's got Riz.
I am a Gen Z, but my brother is just a couple years younger than me, and I'm like, gosh, what did you say? Yeah, I don't know.
I'll try to have my kids teach me.
We can ask him. We'll bring him in.
Yeah, we should have Andrew as a special guest, and he can teach us all the cool things.
My son, yeah. He says stuff, and I'm like, what? What does that mean?
Exactly.
Have I ever done that, Mark?
No, you don't at all. You are kind of like an old soul.
Yeah, good.
With your little green-headed mallards behind you.
Yeah. I love hunting. I've never
You got your fishing line behind you.
I think Owen knows I've never been hunting. Okay, sorry.
He can tell. No, that's okay. So is there anything else we need to cover? We planned it. We're trying to do a podcast once per week. So Katie as well. It's 7:52. She's asleep, we assume. And that's why Katie's not here. So probably next week, I think maybe we'll do a morning one, although I have a day off or two. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But we're trying to do one every week to try to keep it interesting and active. We'll be talking about March next week. So I should also point out, I just finished up a blog post. It's not posted yet, but by the time you listen to this or watch this, my blog post should be up in KPTV.com, or if you have our app, it'll be there. The winter is over. I go into quite a bit more detail, kind of like the reasoning behind that, because there is actually some real reasoning, more so than what we've shown you here.
Nice.
Interesting.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up. Thanks for joining us, folks. We hope you enjoyed this episode 128, only 35 minutes of your life, and hopefully it was valuable to you. Okay, so we will see you next week. See you later.
You're waiting and hesitating and tell us